just in case you were wondering what we were pouring there. It is the drink of mere mortals, Diet Mountain Dew. It's really good. Look, it's an acceptable substitute, right? It is not Sunkist Zero, but in a pinch, it'll do. Sometimes you get in a pinch, sometimes that's all you can really figure out. So there is radar. You see what I see, big mean line of storms pushing on through. You probably hear it too, right? There are lots of storms underway now. Thunder, lightning, gusty wind coming now into the city of Montgomery. I will show you what it looks like outside now. It is raining in sheets, raining sideways now. This is the view from the RSA Tower looking out over Montgomery down below, and you can see the rain falling on the lens of the camera there. This is our ASC Credit Union camera network. So good looking shot here. You'll notice lots of lightning on this. It will flash intermittently throughout this. As of right now, there is no evidence of any rotation, any significant rotation in the storms that are approaching the city of Montgomery. This storm down here is the one that prompted the warning earlier for Monroe and Wilcox. There is some weak rotation with it, but it is that. It is weak rotation. Very close to Hyundai, by the way. Movement with this northeast. This will clip the southern side of Southern Boulevard, Eastern Boulevard, Taylor Road, Bell Road, East Montgomery, South Montgomery. But it's not rotating enough to make me think there's really any significant chance of a tornado in it. Then up and down the line we'll go. There's another little pocket of modest rotation. This one is in Elmore County. Remember, though, I've said this a lot, but it may be a reminder. A lot of storms rotate. Not a lot of storms produce tornadoes. So just because I'm showing you a little rotation on the screen doesn't mean you need to be concerned. It doesn't mean you need to go to your safe place. It just means we're watching it, right? If the rotation tightens up, we will get a tornado warning from the National Weather Service, and then we'll start telling you you need to get to that safe place immediately. So no need to panic or anything of the sort. So we'll dive into some questions and comments as always on this. We're streaming this live, by the way, on both Facebook and YouTube. As always, we appreciate you hanging out with us. So this will be kind of a casual thing. Diet Mountain Dew, yeah. Coke Zero is elite, says Joe Will. You're right about that, by the way. Coke Zero is actually very good. Well, in fact, we'll pull up radar and I'll show you something kind of interesting that was our general manager, Mark Bunting, actually brought me this not so long ago. This was, I had one, Amanda had one. I'm not even sure who did it, but while you're on the Coke Zero is elite statement, someone had like glass bottles made for our weather team that say something kind of cool. I'll wait till I'm in the light so you can see it here. But yeah, it says, share a Coke with Josh Johnson. In this case, as you said, Coke Zero being elite, it is a Coke Zero. And I will tell you in full disclosure, I actually went to open this today because I was like, you know what, I really want a Coke Zero, but it is not a twist off. This is a pry off. So we'll stick with what we've got right now. So still watching all these storms. They're really loud, right? But we're not seeing anything right now. In most of the area, there's no real damaging wind threat with them right now. It's really loud. There's a ton of lightning in this, but these storms are, as of this moment, behaving. Now, at any point, any of these storms, particularly where the storms are crossing the warm front, at any time we could see a brief spin-up tornado, right? But the overall risk level, the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center suggesting that the threat level is leveling off, and over the next several hours will actually begin to go down some. So that's good news. That's not unexpected, by the way. That is... That's sort of how we thought this was going to play out. Question from Brittany. I have a question. My single-story home has a crawl space large enough with a door and a walk-in concrete pad, electric down there. I've been told that is a horrible place for us to go as we would get crushed. So last storm we didn't go down there. My home was a brick house. What is safer? Brittany, I personally would not go down there. I would stick with hallway, bathroom, or closet on the first floor. And here's why. Crawl space home, in a lot of tornadoes, those might get shifted off the blocks, so to speak, and you might end up with sort of a partial collapse, where if you were in the bathroom or the hallway, you'd be fine, but if you were in the wrong spot underneath the house, you would not be fine. So I would play those odds. Now, look, every tornado is different. Your higher end tornadoes, EF4, EF5s, you may be better under the crawl space, but you're not going to have that information at the time you're deciding where to go. And EF4s and 5s make up less than 2% of tornadoes. So I would play the odds there and say the higher risk would be the house shifting enough for a partial collapse than blowing away entirely. So that my advice would be stick with the bathroom, hallway, closet there. So there you go. Yeah, we will. I'm going to stay alive for a good while on this one. We're just going to kind of bebop through this. This will be kind of a casual thing. Yeah, the wind is bad. Up and down this entire line, we can do raw velocity. So that tells us that's not storm relative, right? That tells us how fast the wind is blowing. These numbers, quite frankly, aren't that useful because we're a long, long way from the radar here. But the general idea, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds up and down this line. That's enough to create power outages, which we're seeing. We can actually show you those by county using our advanced law firm storm track zone. In Elmore County, we're 400 outages. Lowndes County, 500. Autauga, 500. Chilton, 500. Perry, 100. Dallas, 200. Wilcox, 500. So a couple of thousand people without power. These numbers are going to go up. That much is sure because of the heavy rain, the gusty wind, the lightning. Those, the wind and the lightning especially can cause some problems within all this. So there you go. Are you good in Shelby County, close to Pell City? Yes, you are. Prattville is bad right now. So, Josh, why can't SPC leave some of the predictions up to the local NWS offices? They do. The Storm Prediction Center, they confer a lot with the local forecast offices, and they will at least hear them out, right? They get to issue their products, but they do hear them out. They do listen to them. So there you go. All right, let me show you what happens next. By the way, a question about Maxwell radar getting fixed. We expect that to happen tomorrow. And look, the National Weather Service has moved heaven and earth trying to get that thing fixed. It's just not working out. But they tell us that I think tomorrow is the day. So let's talk about where the storms are now, and then we'll talk about where they're going next. So a big, mean, ugly line of storms now runs from Alexander City to Wetumpka to Prattville to Montgomery, Lounsboro, then back down into southwest Alabama. It is steadily moving east. So when this line passes you, the severe weather's done. Billingsley, Clanton, Marion, Demopolis, Selma, Camden, you're done. The risk of severe weather is ended. But along and ahead of this line, there are still issues. There are still problem areas. So that's the deal with that. Tons of lightning. I'll turn that on. And there are thousands of lightning strikes per hour up and down this line. So you're going to hear it. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it. The thunder will be loud enough and strong enough to shake some of your houses. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of lightning and thunder. So big show with that. Gusty straight line wind, and yes, there is still a brief tornado risk up and down the entire line. Let me show you how this will play out from here. So this is our in-house computer modeling. It has the line roughly where it is right now at 1 a.m. So that's always the case. These are always faster than the model thinks. In this case, it's not off by much. If anything, I think maybe it's more of an orientation issue. It probably just needs to tilt it a little bit like that. And it would actually be pretty close to the timing on this. But you'll notice it blows through quick. By 3 o'clock, it's down in southeast Alabama. Then 3 to 6 a.m., it moves across the southeastern counties. Now, look, 3 to 6 in the morning, a lot has happened by then. The daytime sun is 8 to 12 hours behind us. The best wind shear has lifted north of us. So as this moves into east and southeast Alabama, the risk does go down. That's been advertised for days, by the way. I was actually looking at my Facebook post from 2 days ago about this storm, and that's what we said would happen. Highest tornado threat, southwest Alabama, and with a decreasing risk, but not zero, as the line moves east. And sure enough, that's how this is playing out. Jonathan, my buddy, says, I'm hearing thunder. Should I worry about power outages? Power outages, yes. Possible tornado. Is it possible? Yes. Right now, we don't see anything rotating there. So there you go. My dogs have decided when there's loud thunder, they got to bark. Yeah, there you go. So Russell asked, are the chances of a tornado going down? Yes, they're not out yet, though. Wind shear moving out? Yes, it is. Will you come on TV live? No, not right now. We're not going to interrupt TV unless we have a tornado warning, or even, look, if we had a damaging straight line wind situation that was to a point of being a threat to life and property, we would be on. But as of this moment, we don't have that. So Thursday, by the way, a colder day. Temperatures in the 50s most of the day, low 60s by afternoon. It is noticeably colder. So here's radar. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in place now into Montgomery County, Lowndes County, northern Butler, and back into Wilcox County. These storms will keep on moving steadily towards the east. Temperatures, look, the warm front surged north, didn't it? 68 at Selma, 71 in Montgomery. Temperature went up in Montgomery 10 degrees in about 15 minutes. So when that front came through, it felt like spring all of a sudden. Now, Auburn's up to 63, so they're getting close. Tuskegee's up to 69, so they're there, right? So that's where the warm front's located. The line of storms will cross it over the course of the next several hours. Here are the timelines for everybody. So I'm going to briefly take down the sponsor logos, our partner logos, Ryan Jewelry and the Vance Law Firm, so that you can see this. And I'll even step out of the way a little bit. They're alphabetical, so Autauga's in the upper left. Autauga through Covington is in the first column. Crenshaw through Lowndes is in the middle column. And then Macon to Wilcox is over here. So the threat will end quickest in the western counties. For instance, Marengo County's on this map is now through midnight. It's 11:47, and the threat is over there. Perry County now through midnight. Threat is over there. Wilcox, it's coming to an end now. So this was a pretty good forecast. We updated this and tweaked it a couple of hours ago, but this generally is the right idea. It could linger as late as 2 or 3 in the morning in Autauga, Bullock, Butler, Chambers, Chilton, but a lot of those counties, even especially Autauga, as fast as this is moving, we can speed Autauga up a couple of hours. This will be gone by 1 a.m. in Autauga County. So it's moving through quicker. If anything, subtract an hour or two from these end times. I think most of them, and we do that on purpose. We do that in case a storm were to, what we don't want is for someone to look at this graphic and say, oh, Autauga County, I can go to bed at 3, and then we have a storm at 3:30. So we always try to give ourselves some pad on the back end there. And so that's where we are. This is ending now for a lot of you, and that's a good thing. So we'll go back to radar here. Back edge of it now is coming into Alexander City. Boy, it's raining hard up there. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. Look at Newside. It's pouring up there. I was actually just up there at Horseshoe Bend School just a couple of days ago, actually. So my friends up there, they're getting some heavy rain out of this. Then back down into Coosa County and Lake Martin. It's raining torrentially now on the west end of the lake around Kalijah Marina up to Parker Creek. My buddy Herb Winches, the landing up at Parker Creek. Can't wait. They'll open up mid-April. If you know, you know. And the landing is a good place to know. One of my favorite places to eat. Great view of the lake. Yeah, so that's they're getting hit hard now. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. I don't see a nickel's worth of rotation in this, though. So we're not really concerned there right now. Look, this can change, but we'll just take you up and down this. See, everything's green here. Green means wind is blowing uniformly away from the radar. Where you get in trouble is when you see green and red interlock together. Not just touching, but like they need to interlock. And we don't see any of that. Not just in this part of the storm, but frankly, even down here to the south, you just don't see any real significant rotation. Now, I do see right out here, that's a little bit, right? Near Pinedale, that's down on the southeast side of Montgomery. That would be right over. There's a Walmart out there. There's a lot of stuff out there. But where Troy Highway shoots off from the Southern Boulevard. Little rotation there. Not enough to make me think there's a tornado. Just something we'll watch. And then broadening the perspective out a little bit. Not much else behind it either. These storms are behaving pretty well as of this moment. Let us all cross our fingers and hope that wonderful trend can continue. And look, if you live behind the red line here, anywhere over in this part of the state, the risk of severe weather is over. Demopolis, Marion, Selma, Clanton, Billingsley, Marbury and Pine Level, Jemison, Thorsby, Rockford, Camden, Miller's Ferry, Linden. It's done. It's over. No more severe weather for you. Leftover rain, a little breezy at times, but life gets better in a hurry as these storms exit out of your area. But along this line, we still have issues with damaging wind gusts, and there is still a non-zero risk of a brief tornado as this thing comes on through. Cheers to you. Do you think it will continue to behave? Probably so. Is there hail in any of this? We just replaced the roof from last time. No, I don't see any sign of any hail. Can you go over Lee Russell and what we'll be seeing soon? Sure, yeah. So just for those watching at home, this is Lee County and that's Russell County. So we'll just draw them as one big county. Russell County, we'll call it. Big line of storms back off to the east. It's moving east. It will arrive in western Lee County probably around 12:20 to 12:30. And so from about 12:30 through about 2:30 in the morning, this is going to make its way across Lee and Russell counties. Damaging straight line wind is our main concern. You'll also have a ton of lightning, very heavy rain, loud thunder. I can't rule out a brief tornado. The overall risk level is not that high, but a risk is a risk is a risk. So you need multiple reliable ways of getting weather warnings. Don't rely on outdoor sirens. They're not going to wake you up over the sound of a storm. You need a NOAA weather radio and the First Alert weather app. You have our weather app, allow it to follow your location. I promise I don't care that you're sitting in the Dollar General parking lot on the phone with somebody. I don't care. We don't care where you are for any reason other than sending you the appropriate weather alerts based on your location. So we don't do anything with any of that. So do that and you'll be fine. And really that advice applies everywhere in our area, by the way. Is Deatsville done? Not quite, but you're really close. Give me another, by 12:15, this will be out of Deatsville. Leftover rain will continue, but the severe weather threat will be over in Deatsville in the next 20 minutes. Twin Valley, very strong wind and rain. Lightning crazy, seems to be moving out. Yeah, it is. Twin Valley, in case you're wondering, is right out here in Autauga County. Here's Prattville. It's along 14 West, right out here. So Twin Valley would be right out here, not too far from the Prattville Airport, if you're familiar with that. So they're on the back edge of it right now. This is going to get better soon. Prattville is pouring rain right now, but the dangerous wind part of this is south of downtown Prattville, closer to Swift Creek Park, and back down into northern Lowndes County and parts of northern Montgomery County. It's raining torrentially. There's buckets of rain falling from the sky, tons of lightning. Let me turn the lightning data on here. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so all over from Prattville back down to Burkeville, northern Lowndes, southern Autauga, Elmore, Montgomery, tons of lightning everywhere. So for downtown Montgomery and really most of the city itself inside of the boulevard, a little bit of a lull now, but the new radar scan showing you that the back edge is coming in now. So for Montgomery proper, the first storm has come through. The second one back behind it is approaching. So the weather is going to go downhill substantially in the city of Montgomery in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Already happening out around Maxwell. In fact, let's look into that storm here. We can do that. We'll pull up our ASC Credit Union camera network. Here's the RSA Tower, the perspective here looking back to the west into this approaching wall of water. So there you go. That camera has been freezing up because I think the power's flickering a little bit. The internet is too. So, man, the questions, I can't even really keep up. Do I think a new tornado watch will be issued for southeast Alabama? It is possible. I don't know that it's likely. Tons and tons of lightning. That seems to be a common thing. Covington County, storms on the way. Late, way after midnight for you. So you see the camera kind of glitching there. That's this storm is producing tons of lightning. A little interference there. You're probably getting some power flickering. You're probably getting some internet flickering as well due to the wind and the rain and the lightning and all of it kind of summed together. But when it is not, you can see, the wind is blowing the rain sideways into the camera here. This is again the view from the RSA Tower as we look back to the west over downtown Montgomery on a very wet and stormy night. So that's where we are right now. Lots of thunder. Granny Lola said good night from Slap Owl, Josh. Please tell Granny Lola I said good night. She's my kind of people. Very strong winds here in Fort Deposit. Um, Already answered the question about new tornado watch southeast Alabama. I don't have any specific intel on that. I'll look and see if they've issued any mesoscale discussions anytime soon. My suspicion is I think they'll probably let it ride with what they've got now. But a lot of that's going to depend on how the next hour or two goes, right? If we see an uptick, if we see a few more tornado warnings pop, then sure. You could envision them popping a watch down into the wiregrass. But as it stands right now, if nothing happens, I really suspect they'll probably just let it ride. So, Tallapoosa County, okay now. Look, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. Only you can define if that's okay, but it is really loud thunder, really gusty wind. Andalusia, storms on the way for you. They arrive after 1 a.m., probably after 2 a.m. Autauga County, it's getting better in Autauga. It's going to take a little while. But I think in the next 30 minutes, this will be out of Autauga County entirely. So the weather has been really bad there in the last half hour. It will get better, though, pretty soon. What should Greenville expect? How long are these storms lasting in Greenville? Well, let's look. So look, hey, the worst of it is actually still west of Greenville. Greenville, downpours now, some thunder now. The core of storms will come through there between about 12:20 and 2:30 in the morning. So about an hour's worth of really heavy storms, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind for Greenville. Then it will get better, right? This is not going to be an all-nighter. This is about a 60 to 90-minute window where it rains really hard and there's super loud thunder and gusty wind, and then things get better. So there you go. Is Elmore close to being through with this storm? Close-ish. You've still got a little ways to go in Elmore. So first core has moved through. Some of this back here over Prattville will clip parts of Elmore. So for Elmore, I suspect you've got a solid 45 minutes or so before you're done with this completely. Man, that lightning over Prattville is something. It is pouring rain there. Heavy, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. Not at all a fun night. Loud, loud, loud. I hope Champ and Lucy they're okay. Our little pups. My wife's a pretty heavy sleeper. She may be sleeping through this, which is pretty loud. But in case she's not, hey, hope everyone at the house is doing all right. Everybody, everyone and everything. Hope the pups are okay. Hope the people are okay. It is raining torrentially with thunder and lightning and gusty wind, though. Yeah, Wetumpka's the same as Elmore, by the way. Josh, we owe you a pack of Diet Sunkist. Nah, you don't. You're fine, I promise. So, CJ, hey, it's cool you're a part of Skywarn, man. That's awesome. We need all the Skywarn spotters we can get. So, yeah, look, people are asking about live on television. We will interrupt programming if I see anything that I think could be destructive in a major way or a threat to life and property in a major way. I don't see that right now. And I will give my bosses and their bosses credit. They really let us fly the plane. If I say I need to go on, we go on. It really is our call entirely in terms of when we go on. Right. I mean, that's not the case at a lot of TV stations, by the way. A lot of TV stations, they have all these rules, or they have well, you have to get this person to sign off on it, this person to sign off on it. And here, if we say we got to go, we go. I mean, from the time I say we need to be on live, 15, 20 seconds later, we're going to be on TV. So while we're doing that, I'm watching all of the data too. So, and yes, that's Madeline right back there. Some people were asking about you, Madeline. That is our newest meteorologist. She is in weather boot camp right now. Not really. We're just training, right? She is the pride of the University of Utah and a happy transplant here to the Deep South. And you can see her, by the way, on the 9 o'clock news most nights, Wednesday through Sunday. And soon you will see her on WSFA 12 News, right? So, There you go. You'll get to meet her soon, I promise. And you'll instantly like her. She is really, really talented, phenomenal meteorologist. Good person too. So there you go.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome. I just told the truth. You don't have to thank it. You never thank someone for telling the truth. Actually, this day and age, I think you should absolutely thank people for telling the truth. Hard to do, isn't it? Rolling thunder. Can you explain? Sure. Yeah. So lightning flashes across the sky, and as it does, it heats the air up like a lot, like super fast. And it does so, lightning bolts, they don't just come straight down, they ripple across the sky. So when they heat all that air up, if you can kind of picture like a ribbon of really hot air stretching across the sky, those air molecules, because they get so hot so fast, they spread apart. When air gets hot, it spreads apart. Well, then as soon as the lightning's over, the source of heat goes away. So the temperature there in that little piece of air drops like thousands of degrees in seconds. So the air molecules come back together and they make a loud noise that we call thunder. Now, when the lightning ripples across the sky, that effect happens in a ribbon that is stretching over your head from near you to far away from you. So it stretches out a long way. So when those sound waves come toward you, it's like they roll over you, right? Because the air that clapped back together and created them isn't just in one place. It's happening all the way down the line, wherever that lightning bolt struck. So that's why you hear kind of a rolling type noise with the thunder. So great question. Hopeful out of it yet? No, not yet. Will be soon though. Prattville out of the woods. Give it 30 minutes. You will be. Tallahassee, yeah, it's approaching you now. You're getting on in there. A lot of people asking about Tallahassee. Worst of it is coming into Tallahassee right now. Tallahassee sits right here. Ta-da, there's Tallahassee. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind, and it extends all the way back to the other side of Wetumpka. So if you live in Tallahassee, you've got another easy 45 minutes of this, maybe longer. This has my anxiety going crazy. I hope it ends soon. Hey, we got this. I promise. You do too. We have been through worse nights than this. It's going to rain a lot. It's going to be loud. There's going to be thunder. The tornado threat is getting lower with each hour. It's not zero. I can't lie to you and tell you it's gone, but it is getting lower. And we don't see much evidence even of straight line wind damage just yet. So understand what you're up against here. It's really more bark than bite right now. And the bark is really loud, right? But that's where we are. Stay aware. But the anxiety, look, pull that weed out of your garden, throw it out. There's no need for that. We're here. We're going to walk you through all of this. You'll be fine. Is Selma in the clear? Yes, actually. You are in the clear. Montgomery almost out of this. Yeah, that's the right word, almost. The worst of it's actually coming into Montgomery right now. Well, I bet that camera's rocking. Let's go back in. Sorry, say tower. Yeah. Still raining at a good clip there. It might have been raining. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. For a moment there, I was like, wait, I thought there would be more. But then the lightning rippled across the screen there. So most of this goes north of Tallahassee, John's asking. Yeah, Kayla, the tornado threat is slowly going down. I think it peaked earlier this evening, and now it's going down. But remember, it's going down. It's not gone yet. It is in the process of going away, but not quite yet. Can you explain the structure of tornado-producing storms? How much time do you have? All night? Me too. So the structure of a tornado-producing storm. There's a lot to unpack there. You've got to have a strong thunderstorm updraft. A thunderstorm consists of an updraft and a downdraft, and sometimes two downdrafts. There's the updraft, and then there's the forward flank downdraft and the rear flank downdraft. That's where the air comes up out of the top of the storm and then sinks back down. So when there's a supply of warm air coming into the base of the storm, the rear flank downdraft, then a pool of cold air circles around the back of the storm. And that accelerates the flow of warm, muggy air into the updraft. As that happens, the pressure begins to drop very rapidly, and something called a wall cloud forms. That's just where, because you're starting to see rapid acceleration into the updraft, condensation happens and you form a cloud. Looks like a wall dropping out of the base of the thunderstorm. If the wind at the surface is blowing from the south or southeast, and then above that it's blowing from the southwest, that creates this horizontal roll. We call that streamwise vorticity. So that gets pulled into, we start seeing initially rotation that's occurring off the ground that's like this. It's actually kind of laid over on its side. If there's enough acceleration of air into the updraft, you can tilt that rotation vertically. And then that's when you'll start to see that wall cloud begin to rotate, when you've tilted that horizontal rotation into the vertical. So a rotating wall cloud is indicative of that. You've now got a well-developed, mature mesocyclone. Then what happens, if you continue to accelerate warm, muggy air into the updraft, and the updraft intensifies, you get this intense vertical stretching of that now vertical column of air that's rotating. It stretches it out, and that causes it to accelerate. And that's how a tornado then forms. When it contacts the ground, it's a tornado. Before it contacts the ground, it's a funnel cloud. Some tornadoes don't even have funnel clouds. Sometimes there's not enough dirt or condensation, and you just have a clear air funnel. That doesn't really happen here because we always have a lot of moisture around. But that's the general physical idea. And that was very much a Cliff's Notes watered down version of it. It always cracks me up when people say, oh yeah, tornadoes form when cold air hits hot air. That's the very first of about 500 things that have to happen. Cold air hits warm air almost every day. You don't have a tornado every day. Now, in this pattern, the fact that we had a warm front draped across the state, that actually did help, right? You had cold air close to warm air, but it enhanced the wind shear is what it did. It didn't really, the cold being next to the warm wasn't really the physical process there that caused it. When was the last devastating tornado? Well, I mean, probably the January 23 one that hit the supercellular produced tornadoes that hit Selma and then Autauga County. We had significant loss of life in Autauga that night. So that would probably, that afternoon. So I would say that was the last big devastating one. Should we take cover in Montgomery? No, you should stay indoors. Stay away from windows. Stay off of, yeah.
Go to the airport.
Airport camera? Woo, man. It's raining cats and dogs out at Montgomery Regional Airport. Yes, it's moving due east. Troy. Storm's on the way for you, Daniel. They'll arrive late tonight. It'll be another hour or two before they get there. I'd say 2 to 5 a.m. is probably the game plan for you. Who do you have in the big game Saturday, Alabama or Auburn? Whoo, boy, Joseph. Can we just talk something easier like tornadoes? I don't know. Those are two fantastic basketball teams. I suspect Alabama will win Saturday because the game is in Tuscaloosa. And then I think Auburn will win the game when it is at a fully packed Neville Arena. I just think when you've got two outstanding teams like that, look, both coaches are elite. Both have elite talent. Both have just everything's elite. I tend to just take the home team, right? Like default. So I think that's the case. I think they probably split. I think top to bottom, Alabama may have the better roster. I think Janai Broome is the best player on the court. And I think Auburn is playing with fewer turnovers. They're playing a little more cohesively. I think Alabama's ceiling might be higher, but I think Alabama's floor is lower. Like Alabama has some games where they turn it over a lot, and that makes them sort of pedestrian offensively, which is crazy because normally they're elite offensively. But if they turn it over a lot, they get themselves in trouble. So those are my thoughts. I'd take Alabama to win the game in Tuscaloosa, and then I think Auburn will get them when they go down there. I'm so tired of sniffling, I can't even tell you right now. Should we take cover in Montgomery? Star asked again. No, the answer is still no. You do not need to take cover. You need to stay indoors, that sort of thing. The flash flood warning on the WSFA weather app needs to be a different color. I see the red and immediately think tornadoes are surrounding me. Ashley, you're right. I wish we could change that. I'm going to talk to somebody and see if I can change that. So far, we haven't been able to, but I would love that. They need to match what we show on TV, which we use blue for flood warnings. So I'll work on that. That's really great feedback. Thank you. Storm moving east at about 45. Thoughts on Baja Blast Mountain Dew? I've actually never had it. Is that bad? Can you show Andalusia? Yeah. All you got to do is ask, right? It will help if I switch over to mobile radar because that will show the storms in South Alabama a little bit better. But look, a lot of things are happening down south that are pretty good trends, right? First off, there's a lot of these cells. Why does that matter? They're in competition with each other. The fact that there's a lot of small cells is a good thing. It's not a get out of jail free card, but it helps. The other thing is you're getting the wind shear is lifting north of you. So the tornado risk down here is pretty limited. Down near the coast, I would say right now, maybe the strongest storm in the state is right down here in Baldwin County. It's a kind of double-decker here, one up near Loxley, the other west of Foley, out near Point Clear. So those are big ballers down there. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. Nothing like watching a storm down there at the coast, is there? I mean, that's a kind of interesting experience to get to see that happen. But Andalusia storms are on the way, yes, but the overall tornado risk for you is fairly limited. That doesn't mean it's zero, right? You are not in the clear. I'll tell you when you're in the clear. You're not there yet. But so far, so good. Things are behaving down there. Autauga County, kind of same thing. Everything's behaving right now. And look, in Autauga, the worst of it's through in Autauga. Leftover rain, yes, but the tornado threat is near zero now, and give it 30 more minutes and it will be zero. Autauga County will get out of that tornado watch soon. Can you look at the storm in shorter? Sure. That's a swell idea. All right, well, okay. Interesting shape for sure, hanging out down like that. Let's go in and see if we see any rotation on it. No, not really. Very, very modest, broad rotation around Milstead and shorter. Not nearly enough to make me think there's a tornado there. The storm kind of hanging down like that, that'll need to be watched. It's probably pretty close to the warm front, and it hanging down like that would make me a little nervous, right? So that's something we'll have to kind of keep an eye on here moving forward. So yeah, that's the story there. Intense storms now, southern Tallapoosa, most of Tallapoosa, southern and eastern Elmore County. One request was to go over who's in the clear, and I'm happy to do that. So anyone to the left of that line is in the clear. So that would be Grove Hill, Coffeyville, Linden, Demopolis, Marion, Uniontown, Selma, Marion Junction, Plantersville, Maplesville, Clanton, Billingsley, almost Prattville, almost Wetumpka, Slapout, Holtville, Rockford, Kellyton, Flag Mountain, Alex City, barely, almost Dadeville, and then out ahead of the line, we still got the issues, right? So that's where we are right now. Team Code Red. Okay, you're just going hard in the paint, huh? There's another look at radar. This is on a program called Radar Scope. You see the same thing I see here. This has turned into a giant mess. Not that that's a bad thing. In this case, a giant mess, probably a little bit of a good thing, right? It's, again, when storms are competing with each other, that's not bad. That's a good thing. We all win when storms compete. That'd be a good slogan, wouldn't it? Hi, I'm Josh from the Storm Competition Committee. When storms compete, we all win. Montgomery, things getting a little better. Looks like it's bedtime from everyone, my friend Ryan. Good night to you guys. The weather is on its best behavior. Who knew it could be so polite? You're exactly right. What a mess. It's a polite mess, though. She's right about that. It's a polite mess. It's loud. It's rowdy. But it's polite. I know people like that. They're usually good people. I do need that slogan on a shirt, for sure. You may have already covered this. What about Tallahassee? I did. I just covered that. Heavy rain, gusty wind, happening now. Will continue to happen for another hour or more because of the way the storms are moving east-northeast. Tallahassee sits right here. A lot of these storms in Montgomery and Lowndes are actually going to come through Tallahassee. So it'll be it'll be after 1 a.m. before you're completely done. The worst of it is happening right now. The next line of storms won't be quite as bad as the one right now, but it will still be loud, thunder, lightning, gusty wind. Let me take you down to Butler County. Let's check out Greenville. Rated pretty rough now. Heaviest of it's northwest of you, though, out near RTJ. That's going to come east as well. So heavy rain with that, thunder with that, lightning with that. I don't see any significant rotation in any of this right now. We'll go to the mobile radar and look up and down, and this is polite, as my friend Ryan so aptly put it. She's right on the money. This is polite. That's what these storms are mainly behaving. They're annoying about it. They're loud about it. They're waking a lot of us up, but pretty well behaved, right? Tons of lightning up here. This would be southern Tallapoosa County, Reeltown, Tallahassee, Gold Dust, Sardis, the east end of Lake Martin, then back into northern Macon, around Millstead and Franklin, back up to Notasulga, western Lee, Lochapoka, Farmville, The Bottle, Camp Hill, on up to Dadeville along 280. That's a miserable ride right now. It's pouring rain. If you don't have to be out driving, don't. Can you show us Saturday severe weather, Josh? Do I have to? I just showed Michaela, I just showed you Tallapoosa. Pike Road getting it now. Indeed they are. What about the Wiregrass? The severe threat's lower there. These storms won't arrive until after 3 a.m. though, so it's going to be a while. The severe weather threat there is a little lower. It's not zero, but it is a little lower. Gusty wind, the main concern there with a secondary risk of a brief tornado. Wetumpka, Prattville, and Millbrook, are they done yet? Let me show you. Prattville, yeah, I think so. I would be shocked out of my skin if we had a tornado in Prattville. The worst of it's through. Millbrook, same thing. Give it another 30 minutes, though, and you're totally done. Slapout, is that what you asked? Millbrook, Wetumpka, Prattville. Wetumpka, it's still pretty stormy. Millbrook, it's raining hard, but the worst of it's past. Prattville, it's raining hard, but the worst of it's past. Never seen such a windy storm. Also be relatively polite. Hey, look, I'll level with you guys as I always do. If that warm front had come north 6 hours faster, we would have had big, ugly tornadoes tonight in a lot of your counties, a lot of our counties. We had a big, ugly tornado tonight in Clark County, by the way. That looked like an EF2 or 3 out near Coffeyville, which is one county away from counties we serve. So it was a close call. Hopefully we make it through the rest of the night without any tornadoes. We've had some straight line wind damage we know of in Elmore County. We have thousands of people right now in our area without electricity. So, yeah, I think a first alert weather day was probably warranted. We'll see how the rest of the night goes to see, but this is a pretty high impact weather scenario, and we had what in all likelihood was a strong tornado one county west of our area. So that's sort of the thought process there. Can I go to sleep yet here in Millbrook? I would feel comfortable telling you to go to sleep in Millbrook, yeah. I think Prattville and Millbrook, you can go to bed. What does red, yellow, and orange stand for on the radar, Josh, when it comes to severe weather coverage? That's the intensity of the rain. Yellow is moderate rain. Orange is heavy rain. Red is really heavy rain. Purple is exceptionally heavy rain. And oftentimes, purple can even be small hail. Now, in a situation like this, we don't have much hail with these storms, if any. But with the summertime storms or a storm where you have a really strong freezing layer that's low to the ground, the purple can often be hail. So there you go. Straight line wind potential near Montgomery? Not a ton, no. I mean, it's windy. Let me show you that the core of that storm is moving over downtown right now. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to legit show you. First thing I'm going to do is pull up one of our cameras. Here's the RSA tower. It's raining really hard. And then I'm going to do this fun thing. You're going to get a free tour. There's our green screen, by the way. If you've never been to WSFA, that's the green screen. That's our view back towards the camera bank. Then behind the set is the weather office. This is where we do most of our actual work each day. There's my Chick-fil-A lunch bag. I need to pick up after myself. Isn't it? Like that purple light, I kind of felt like I was the bad guy in a movie. It's my villain era. Uh-oh, nobody needs that. Okay, so that's what it's doing in downtown right now. Kind of raining in sheets. You can hear the wind battering the buildings. Pretty wild, pretty wild. Okay. So I'm going to walk back in now. Ah, it's drier in here. I like that. There's the old green screen. Yay. Hey, Madeline, first alert, it's raining.
Yeah, raining.
Yep.
First alert.
That's why they pay me the moderate bucks. All right, so here we are. Wild and free. Pop up radar again. You see that? Raining torrentially now, as you probably guessed. So that's cool. That's weird. You're seeing, I'm standing right there where you're seeing. There's some type of delay going on with that camera over there, but I'm standing here right now. So that's interesting and weird at the same time. Poof! Wow, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. So anyway, pouring rain in Montgomery right now. Here's the view out of Montgomery. Whitewater. It's lighter there. The back edge is coming through right now. At the airport, same thing. It's still raining, but it was raining harder earlier. So that's the news as far as the camera situation is concerned. You see that. The worst of it's over downtown, and East Montgomery is next. So heavy rain, thunder, and lightning on the way. Out of East Chase, Mount Meigs, Pike Road, the Mary community. It's pouring rain, but all in all, this could all be a lot worse. Storm cores I'm watching. Here's one coming into Western Lee now. We'll back the view out a little bit here. Look at the rotation signature. So far, so good there. What I do see That is not really even rotation. This could be maybe some modest rotation, but the keyword there is modest, mid-level. It's not anything that you go, wow, there's a tornado. It's not like that. So good on that front. Let's just kind of go trolling here. Trolling and scrolling, looking for rotation. Looking for rotation in all the wrong places. None of it here. No complaints by me. That's a tough storm though. No rotation, but golly, that thing, hundreds of lightning strikes in that. That's going right over Auburn and Opelika. If you have family or friends in Auburn and Opelika, they're probably about to talk to you about it and let you know it's pretty rough. So yeah. I think I lost the connection.
Well,
I don't know. All the comments say I'm gone. The Facebook stream has ended, disconnected from Facebook. I may still be on YouTube, though. Hey, can anyone hear me on YouTube? If you can, leave a comment.